So as we give everybody else a chance to pop on, I definitely want to talk to you guys today about something that I've had conversations with agents over the last part of last week and the first part of this week about Google and Google My Business. When agents go to look you up, or not agents, when potential customers go to look you up, a lot of people are putting so much attention on social media, but the very first place any potential customer or client is going when someone says, "Hey, I've heard of this Naldo Garcia, a guy. He seems like a good agent.
Who?
You might want to give him."
Oh my God! Is he out of jail?
He is. They're going to go Google you. That's the first place they're going. And a lot of people are mistaken if you think they're going to scroll through all of those URLs looking for which one might be Naldo's website, so they could go then click on further. Click on further links or tap on them to go further looking for information, because it's not going to happen. They want all of that right there on the side of the Google search page in what Google calls the panel. So if your business doesn't show up with a panel on the side that has a one tap to your phone, to your email, to your website, to directions, to photos you've posted, reviews, everything, hours of operation, all of that right there, then you're missing out big time. So I want everybody to consider diving into Google My Business.
Hey, Rob, how much does that cost?
It's free.
It's free.
It's much.
Free. So look, everybody's out there trying to get a hold of your credit card number these days. They want you to buy leads and give them 35% of your income and buy all their giveaway items and buy their advertising space. And I go, I don't know about all that. But let's do this. Before we start talking about all that stuff, why don't we check all the free boxes first, right? So with Google, they used to be able to say that they're the biggest search engine in the world, but in 21, that wasn't actually true, was it, Rob?
Nope.
What was the biggest search engine in the world?
YouTube.
Nope. Anybody know?
TikTok.
TikTok.
Gotta be TikTok. Absolutely.
Oh, that's going to drive some of you absolutely batshit crazy because you hate that stuff. But watch this. Don't ignore it while it's happening. 2 years ago, the average user age for TikTok was 13 and a half years old. And for 2021, it had changed to 34 years old. In 2 years, it went from middle schoolers using it to 34-year-olds using it. So, and some of you are going, I don't know what TikTok is. And some of you are going, I know what it is, but it's stupid. You're missing the wave with this stuff. People are on there, and if they search for you, what are they going to find? They're going to find something clever and interesting, or are they going to find nothing? And if they're going to find nothing, you need to change that today. Sorry, Rob. You know I do this. I just jump in there and interrupt you. That's okay. Go back. You were saying Google's not number one anymore, but is it pretty damn important?
It's extremely important, and it's important to the point where it's not even a search engine, it's a verb. So when someone says, I want this information, they're like, I'll Google it. It's actually it's a verb. When they say, hey, use this real estate agent, Marie Davis, I heard is pretty good. You should Google her. And they're gonna have to have that information right at their fingertips, right when they Google you. They're not going to search for it, guys. They're not going to dig deep. So give it to them. And like Mike said, it's free. Now, it is a little bit of a pain in the butt to set up. I think as anybody who works here can attest to that, as I've kind of tried to shepherd them through it. But Google My Business is a little bit of a pain to set up. And it does take weeks, and I'll tell you why it takes weeks to set up. They verify who the heck you are, which is why everyone trusts it so much. So when you put in your address, when you're setting it up, they're going to actually mail you a little card. in the mail that has a verification code on it. And once you get it, now they say 5 days, but I think everyone here will attest that that's not accurate. It was more like 3 weeks. Once you get that card, then you go back and finish setting up your Google My Business, and you'll be off and running. But I want to take you through 4 things that you need on your Google My Business, that just once you get set up and go in and get it verified. 4 things. 1, you need 50 photos on there. Now, this is to get into Google's algorithm and get your content and your panel shown more often and easier. You need 50 photos. You need 10 videos. But the catch with these videos, guys, are they have to be less than 30 seconds long and under 100 megabytes. So a little 5-second tip for that: set your settings on your phone to 720p instead of 1080p, which is HD, 720p, and keep your videos around 20 seconds. Post them to your Google My Business and you'll be fine. 10 of those. You need 5 reviews minimum. That's where you start getting the juice. 5 reviews. These are not QSS reviews for those of you who are familiar with QSS reviews. These are Google reviews from Google users logged into their Google account and submitted through to your panel on your Google account. So it's purely Google users to Google users. All right. You can solicit them. There's a link in your Google My Business you can send out. It's real easy. And the last thing is you need 5 questions that are asked by Google users logged into their Google account of you, and you need to be logged into your Google account and answer those questions. Now, the tip with those questions is they have to be fact-based questions, because Google checks these things to make sure that, yeah, they answer that question correctly. They're trustworthy, will promote their content, not opinion-based questions. So is it a good time to buy a house? That's an opinion-based question. How much have home prices on average increased in Roswell year over year from January to January? That's a fact-based question. So make sure that you get 5 people. It could be 5 people you know, who, it doesn't matter. Tell them to log into their Google account and go to the link you send them and ask them a question. Those are the 4 things you need: 50 photos, 10 videos, 5 Google reviews, and 5 questions asked and answered by you. And that will get you a lot of juice with Google and Google My Business.
Good. Rob, I'm going to jump in with you. Is that okay?
Yes, go ahead.
I got a couple of questions. First, for Athena, are you in a tire store? What you doing in a tire store?
I am in a tire store. I got a flat tire on the way into the office this morning.
Oh, no.
So yeah, good. I'm here waiting on my car to be returned to me, but it's still in the place that I parked it. So
good. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, for everybody else, I want to give you permission for something. I want to give you permission to have fun, enjoy yourself in your marketing. Okay. So one of the observations I have is some of you don't look like you're having very much fun at all. Even right now, some of you look like you're bumming me out. Smile, Janet, smile.
That is smile. Hilarious.
See, look, what a great smile she has. I would use that. Some of you are bumming me out. You're not having any fun. Have some fun in your marketing. Enjoy yourself. Be the person that you would like to work with. Because I got to tell you, if you're a downer, I probably will look for reasons not to work with you.
Yeah.
So have some fun with it. Be weird. You have permission to be weird. Be different. Be you. Okay. Can you think of an example of somebody who's different, but they're just probably being them? Stephen, who?
Kanye West.
Okay.
How about
Good.
Jessica? Absolutely. How about Jessica?
Yes. Okay. Jessica Fisher, who dresses up like a tree and falls in her neighbor's yard, right? Right. Was that great?
That was great.
Do you think anybody thought negatively of her?
No.
Do you think people thought, well, she's a little wacky,
Yes.
but she could be fun to work with?
Yes, absolutely.
All Jessica did was give herself permission to have a little bit of fun. We don't have to be so serious all the time. You don't have to frown. You don't have to talk in a real stern voice. You can actually have some fun. Athena, I got a challenge for you. She's talking to one of the things, but here's what I want. You can't leave there today, Athena, without finding somebody at that tire store that wants to buy or sell a house. Okay. So even after they get your car fixed, you just have to keep walking around the store trying to find somebody.
No, absolutely. That is a part of my plan while I'm here waiting.
Good. You know what would help with that? Like
What's
if I
that?
could see your name badge, that would help. Oh, there we go. Look at her. Game on.
I'm on it.
Now, some of you are going to go, well, it's just a stupid name badge. Who cares? Hey, I can tell you about an agent here in my office. They got paid $10,000 for getting his oil changed. And this is marketing, right? We would call this passive marketing, but you're familiar with the sign magnets that agents put on their car, or some of them spend a little bit more money and get their back windows lettered up. So this agent is getting his oil changed at a Jiffy Lube. And there's another customer, an older lady who's in there, and he's just sitting there looking through a magazine. And the lady goes, "Sir, I'm sorry to bother you, but is that your car out there?" And he said, look, by nature, he's a smart ass. So he says, what I wanted to do was go, well, who the hell else's car would it be? There's just two of us here. He goes, but I suppressed that and said, yes, ma'am. And she goes, and he had his sign magnets on his car, and she could see it up on the lift. And she goes, so you sell real estate? And he said, yes, ma'am. Do they let you list homes? And he kind of laughed. He goes, yes, ma'am, they do let me list homes. Well, my husband and I, we've got this house and it's just too big for us now. He said they were like in their 70s. It's just too big for us now. And we've just been talking about it's time to really downsize. Would you be willing to come over and talk to us about this? And that was a $400 and some thousand house that he sold in 10 days. Off, if he hadn't had them, if he'd been getting his tire changed and he hadn't had the magnets on the side of his car, he would not have made that sale. So that's passive marketing. Does it work all the time? Nothing works all the time. But a combination of little things, do that and have some fun with it. Athena, here's your challenge. Yes, you can't leave the tire store until you find a customer, but have some fun being in the tire store this morning. Have somebody actually go home today and say, I met the cutest girl in the tire store today. You can do that. All of us could do that, but it's going to require one thing that Athena is actually doing right that I want each of us to check themselves on. What is that? It's not a trick question. It kind of is a trick question.
She's got a smile on her face.
She does, but where is she at? Is she sitting in her basement right now?
No.
She's
Get
around
the
people.
hell out of that
She's
house. No, you're not going to meet anybody sitting in the basement of your house that wants to buy or sell a house today. Get the hell out of that house and go have some fun. Rob, that's my very high level marketing message for today.
I love it. I love the energy. All right. So one more thing with Google My Business. If anybody on this call has any questions about it, because it is not easy and you will come across things you may have a question about, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to put my email in the chat over here for some of you guys that don't have it. You can reach out to me and I'll be able to kind of walk you through it. I've walked probably 80 people through it so far, and there almost is always a hiccup. Everybody's different, depends on the kind of address you use. You get into situations when you're when you have multiple agents using the same address. And I know exactly what you need to do in those kind of situations. So if you have questions when you're going through to set it up, but I looked up even some of the people on this call, I looked up before the call, and a couple that are not here. not here today, and theirs was not completely set up yet, so their panel was not showing up. So that's why when I looked through there, I was like, oh my god. So this is something that has to be tackled immediately. And it came to mind to me day before yesterday when someone introduced someone to me. It's a potential to do some grading in my yard. And I said, yeah, let me Google them. They're like, yeah, they're great. They're great at it. Got a great business. And I Googled the guy, and he had no panel, and I couldn't find his information even on the first page. And I just put my phone back in my pocket, and I didn't do it. And I thought about after that, I thought, there's a lot of real estate agents probably in our office that still have that issue. And I'm trying to get each and every one of everyone set up on it. But it's something you have to tackle, guys. It's 2022. If I can't Google you and find out everything I need to know about your business in 3 seconds, I'm not going to use you. So I don't want you to be in that situation too.
Good. Let's open it up to questions from the group. Anybody have an issue that is bugging them right now that we can jump into with you? Okay, good. Then I want to ask you a question today. What three things can you do to market yourself today, and when will you do that? Email Rob and tell him. He's already given you his email address in the chat. Email Rob. Rob, share it with me when you get them. What three things can you do to market yourself today, and what time today will you do each and one of them? Okay. Thanks for jumping on with us today. Let's go out there and make it happen. Let's go.
Thank you.